We're here to commemorate, to remember the bravery of the hunger strikers, all generations of them, but also to set our journey forward again for Irish unity, for equality, for justice. It's rainy here in Derry, but there is a big crowd, and we're so honoured to have family members of the hunger strikers with us today. It makes the event even more special. True patriots who stood with Ireland and who stand still with Ireland.
Tá fáilte mór romh go deireadh agus mille buíochas daobh le haghaidh teacht a bheith an seo inniu. Táid le céile chun cimhní ó thuairt don a fir bás Stoc Agras go háirithe na déagar a fir bás a ceis fada sa bliain 1980 a haon. Fáilte specialtó ribh an clán atá in our mosque inniu go raibh míle mai agah go léir. You're all very welcome to Derry as we all come together for the National Hunger Strike Commemoration. We remember all those who died in hunger strike to defend and uphold the integrity of our struggle. And we remember in particular our friends and comrades who died in the prison hospital in Longcash in 1981. They died to defeat Britain's policy of criminalisation and to uphold all our rights as political prisoners. Fúrsaíodh Bás ar son Saoirse na hÉireann. I want to extend a special welcome to the families of the hunger strikers and to the families of our patriot dead. Your presence here today enriches us all. Tá fáilte romh go léir. We also extend our solidarity to the people of Gaza and pledge our continuing support and solidarity. Our message remains loud and clear. Ceasefire now and freedom for the people of Palestine. We as Republicans in Derry have been looking forward to hosting the 40th anniversary in 2021. It was postponed in the interest of public safety. But whatever our disappointments may have been then, the large turnout today allows us to realise the high esteem in which our comrades continue to be held. We are particularly proud that from this city, two of them, Patsy O'Hara and Michael Devine, are our friends and our neighbours. From Thomas Ashe in 1917, whose great-nephew joins us today from the United States of America, to Michael Devine in 1981, 22 Irish Republican prisoners have died on hunger strike. From the moment when Kieran Nugent refused to wear a convict's uniform, the fight to be treated as political prisoners have begun. To the forefront throughout in support with the National Hitsblock Armagh movement and the Relatives Action Committee, families, wives, mothers, sisters, friends took to the streets and raised their voices. Now remembering all of those who were part of this mass movement of people, local Republican Jade Fleming will now sing the ballad Woman of the North in their memory.
Turn the pages of our history. You might have read it all before. Cruel oppression of our people, forced to take the path of war. You might ask why I sing this song. How many years have come and gone? Of sacrifices made. What would I do if confronted by the terrifying mob? Our homes were burning, bullets flying. Would I run or take up arms? From the ashes they did rise. Courageously they turned the tide. They gave their lives for you and me. It fanned the flames of liberty. Mothers, fathers, sisters, brothers, from the farm and factory. The union worker, the cabinet maker, the pride of their community. Think of the price they had to pay. They starved, were exiled, locked in jail. Some fell before the foeman's gun. Our lives were shattered by the bomb, and we must not, and we will not forget those women brave and true. The roll of honor will inscribe now the cherished names of the gallant few. A million tears have all been shed. 1,000 hearts have crushed and bled, because some chose the felon's way. Our children's laughter sounds today. Our children's laughter sounds today. Our children's laughter sounds today.
Many words have been spoken and written about our struggle from prison cells. They provide an insight into the character of those imprisoned. Prison writings is best epitomised perhaps by the words of Bobby Sands, and none more powerful than the words of the rhythm of time.
There's an inner thing in every man. Do you know this thing, my friend? It has withstood the blows of 1,000,000 years and will do so to the end. It was born when time did not exist, and it grew up out of life. It cut down evil's strangling vines like a slashing, searing knife. It lit fires when fires were not, and burnt the mind of man, tempering leaden hearts to steel from the time that time began. It wept by the waters of Babylon, and when all men were a loss, it screeched in writhing agony, and it hung bleeding from the cross. It is found in every light of hope. It knows no bounds nor space. It has risen in red and black and white. It is there in every race. It lies in the hearts of heroes dead. It screams in tyrants' eyes. It has reached the peak of mountains high. It comes searing across the skies. It lights the dark of this prison cell. It thunders forth its might. It is the undauntable thought, my friend, that thought that says, I'm right.
The selflessness and courage of the hunger strikers were the source of an inspiration to their generation, and through the decades ever since, they continue to inspire each coming generation. Our main speaker today is a shining example of this. She is an activist from her early teens. Her own family understands the loss of a loved one in conflict. Her Aunt Mairead was killed on active service. She was elected to Galway County Council in 2014, and in February 2020 she was elected as an Teachta Dála for Galway West. Torigi Falchamore, please give a loud welcome to Mairead Farrell.
It is an incredible honour to be joined here with all of you today. And I know that, like in every year, you've travelled from every corner of Ireland, as well as the many international friends that we have with us today, as we do every year, to remember our hunger strikers. And today we also remember all those who's lost their lives during the conflict. The crowd here today is testament to the legacy and determination of our hunger strikers. It is testament to their courage, and it is testament, of course, to our understanding that we must continue in our goal for Irish unity. Acharja, first of all, I would like to say, on behalf of all of us here today, that we are deeply honoured to be joined by the families of our hunger strikers, and that we would like to show our continued respect and solidarity with them. Bula bus Acharja. Look, like every single family at any given time, each family who had a loved one on hunger strike had their own story. They had their own things going on in their lives, and they had their own very personal memories of that time. And the strength and the determination of those who joined the hunger strike, to me, is unfathomable. And equally, I am in awe of the strength of their families. And to me, when I think about this brave 10 men who died in 1981, when I think of Galway's own hunger striker, Tony Darcy, when I think of Frank Stagg and Michael Gahan, when I think of my Auntie Mairead, Mary Doyle and Mairead Nugent, and all those Republicans who engaged in hunger strikes over the decades, I see ordinary people who lived in extraordinary times, who were from and of their communities, and who are willing to give everything for Irish freedom and to create a better place for me, for my generation, and for every single one of us here today. And I am conscious that we are here in Derry, a city which raised Mickey Devine and Patsy O'Hara, and a county which reared Thomas McAwee, Kevin Lynch, and Francis Hughes. They, of course, followed in the footsteps of Raymond McCartney and his comrades who embarked on the 1980 hunger strike. That this proud county was home to 5 of our comrades who made the ultimate sacrifice on the hunger strike in 1981 is something that we can be eternally proud of. Of course, this week we lost another one of this city's rebellious children, Nell McCafferty, a fierce woman who we too remember here today. But now, as a Connacht woman, it would be remiss of me not to invite every single one of you here today to join us in Ballina in County Mayo on the 14th of September as we come together to mark Michael Gochan's 50th anniversary. And I really do hope that we see us come down to Connacht and that you make that journey and that we remember Michael Gochan. Irish Republicans, we all have one thing, or we all have something that sparked our inner republicanism, or as Bobby Sands described it, as our inner thing. And for each generation after the 1981 hunger strike and the 10 men who died in that hunger strike, they have been a huge source of inspiration. And they are remembered in the same breath as the leaders of the 1916 Rising. The hunger strike was a difficult time for the Irish people, but it was a time where we saw immense solidarity across the globe. People gathered in their thousands on the streets of Paris. In New York, the Longshoremen's Union boycotted British ships. And on Robben Island, Nelson Mandela noted Bobby Sands' death in his diary from his prison cell. Now, some of these places had a strong Irish diaspora, but some of them didn't. And that was the impact of the sacrifice of the hunger strikers. So it comes as no surprise to me that we as an Irish people show that same solidarity with the people of Palestine. We have an understanding of the suffering that they have endured, and we have a responsibility as Irish people to shout stop, to put our heads above the parapet and do everything that we can to stop this genocide. Words of condemnation are not enough. The people are clear. We want no hand, no act, no part in the Israeli genocide of the people of Gaza. And the Irish government must ensure that there is no complicity in the genocide of the Palestinian people. As Republicans, we have gone through very, very, very difficult times. But what has always gotten us through these times is each other, and we should never forget that. And I've seen this personally in the resilience of our communities from Belfast to Cork, from Kerry to Derry, from Galway to Tyrone, and I know that same resilience to be true across Republican communities across Ireland. And like all movements for self-determination, which stem from ordinary communities who are demanding their rights, we are made up of communities which through everything had the determination to keep going and always had each other's backs. Because of course, as Bobby Sands said, it is the thought that says, I'm right, which keeps us moving forward. And because we all are part of that Republican family, we are interlinked in so many ways. And this morning I had the honour of meeting with the families of our brave hunger strikers, including the family of Kieran Doherty. My family, like the Dohertys, are from Andytown, and Mairead and Kieran were close comrades and both ended up on hunger strike, but at different times. Now I, like Kieran was, am a Sinn Féin TD. And every time I have a meeting in the Sinn Féin party room, I see a beautiful mural dedicated in the honour of Kieran Doherty. And it shows, I think, how things have come full circle. Not only that, but that myself and Kieran's brother Michael canvassed together for Leah Flynn as we continue to work together to achieve self-determination. And when I mentioned that story to one of Mairead's close comrades, she's reminded me of the fact that Mairead and Joe McDonnell were also very close, and that they used to write to each other from Lankesh to Armagh, and where they discussed the Andytown scale. And what I thought was so really important and uplifting, that amongst the heartache that they were going through, that the two of them were still fascinated in the stories and the scale from their home place of Andytown. And while me and my Auntie Mairead's lives couldn't really have been much or more different in so many ways, she also ran for election. Mairead was 24 years old when she ran for election in Cork North Central. And it struck me recently that she was the same age as I was when I first ran for election. But what really struck me was that how different the circumstances were and our daily realities, because at the time of her campaign, she had just spent 19 days on hunger strike and already had spent 5 years in jail. And she had spent those 19 days on hunger strike with her comrades Mary Doyle and Mairead Nugent, and she ran for election from Armagh jail. But it is not by some chance that I didn't have to go through what she did. It was as a direct result of the leadership shown by her, by the other women, and indeed by the Republican leadership. And I have to say that now I am very proud that in my Dáil office I have a lovely piece where I have her nomination paper and my nomination papers framed beside each other as a reminder of who we are, where we came from, and where we have yet to go. Because for us, it is about where we have to go. And we have seen that there's a new energy that has been injected in the unity discussion, and that comes from such a broad range and a diverse cross-section of society across Ireland. And there's been real outreach to that section of people who are against unity or unsure of what unity would mean. So too is the demand on the Irish government to look beyond its traditional rhetorical republicanism and to properly begin the process of planning for unity. Ireland is changing. We're in a decade of opportunity, and the unity referenda will be held. And the Irish government has a responsibility to intensify planning and preparation for those referenda and for Irish unity so that they are one. We in Sinn Féin, we're going to continue doing the work that we've been doing, north and south, and continue the march of progress for a better future for everyone. Because we are on the side of ordinary workers and families, we are on the side of local communities, and we understand the needs of those communities. Home ownership has collapsed for an entire generation under the leadership of Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael. So what we need to see is we need to see a change of government. Sinn Féin will end the housing crisis, and we will ensure that home ownership is brought back within the grasp of working people, because we believe that you should be able to own a home of your own. Ending the housing crisis, transforming healthcare, providing affordable childcare, driving a successful economy where everyone prospers and benefits, uniting Ireland and delivering a fairer Ireland for families, workers and communities is what we stand for. But what I want as the key message for us to remember is that no matter what is thrown at us in the time ahead, we must show that same resilience and fortitude that has been shown by our communities throughout our history. And to me, the ultimate commemoration for all those who came before us will be a united Ireland. The creation of a republic that truly reflects the vision of 1916, the vision of Tone and Connolly, the vision of Maura Drum and Bobby Sands. And Liam Mellows led the 1916 rising from my home county of Galway. And he described the men and women of 1916 as unconquerable. And we too must be unconquerable. It was Pádraig Pearse who said, "If you strike us down now, we shall rise again and renew the fight. You cannot conquer Ireland. You cannot extinguish the Irish passion for freedom. And if our deed has not been sufficient to win freedom, then our children will do it by a better deed. Let us be those children. Let us do that deed. Let us win." Bury me shbua.
The time has come to part, my love, and I must go away. I leave you now, my darling girl. No longer can I stay. My heart, like yours, is breaking. Together we'll prove strong. The road I take will show the world the suffering goes on. The gentle clasp that holds my hand must loosen and let go. Please help me through this storm. The instinct tells you no. Our vow, it is eternal, and will bring you dreadful pain. But if our demands aren't recognized, don't call me back again. Their sorrow touched us all in those final days, when the time she held the door and touched his sallow face. The flame he lit by leaving is still burning strong. By the lights it is plain to see the suffering goes on. The time has come to part, my love, and I must go away. I'll leave you now, my darling girl. No longer can I stay. Oh, Hughes, Macreation Sands, Doherty and Lynch, MacDonald, Herson, McAwee, Divine. Oh, Hughes, Macreation Sands, Doherty and Lynch, MacDonald, Herson, McAwee, Divine.